gaming and stuff doesn't really get any much attention anymore, right? Meme coins have kind of taken over the entire space, or the entire amount of oxygen for like crypto excitement, and so games and NFTs have been relegated to to the shadows or whatever. But yeah, then you go out on the floor of IVS and you see there's like a pretty good amount of gaming projects that are still plugging away. So it's good to see that's happening. And you know, I imagine the meme coinery stuff will eventually exhaust itself, and then you'll see gaming and NFTs come back in.
Welcome back to Token Narratives with Bitcoin.com, where we discuss the biggest news and the hottest topics shaping the Bitcoin and cryptoverse. I am Graham, a cog in the marketing machine over here at Bitcoin.com, and with us as usual, we have David, our resident educator and trusted purveyor of news that is decidedly not fake. What's up, David? We also have with us today Bitcoin.com CEO Corbin Fraser, and this week we are coming at you live from IVS Kyoto. So, right before we get into our vibe check on the market, let's get a lowdown on Kyoto. What's the deal? Why are you guys there?
Well, first off, I think I just make sure my mic is actually working. But yeah,
Go ahead, Corbin.
we're in IVS Crypto 2024 in Kyoto, Japan.
Or I'll take over.
Those are-
Yeah, we're here enjoying the conference, getting a finger on the pulse of blockchain, crypto, Web3 in Japan and Asia. Very, very fun so far. Kyoto is hot and humid though, which is not very fun. I'm not enjoying wearing pants in this kind of heat and climate. But yeah, you take taxis everywhere and it's pretty good.
Is this
really good time, though.
you should wear pants? Is this a you should wear pants conference?
Well, I mean that's been the debate a little bit. I'm doing video format interviews, and I've been vacillating between going the casual route, which plenty of people are, including like people speaking on stage. Right, there was a guy yesterday, I think for was it Merlin Chain? He was wearing slides, right? Like those like Adidas slides kind of things, shorts and slides. So you have people wearing suits and everything in between to flip flops and sandals and slides. I don't know. What would you be wearing, Graham, if you were here?
Probably a leisure suit, I would say.
What-
Either that or
Oh, and-
kimono. What's that, Corbin?
I did the. I don't know if you guys are here in the end, but I did the suit yesterday.
Yeah. Suit, yeah. You had a panel yesterday, and you were definitely the best dressed of the 4 panelists. So there's that.
Winning.
Yeah, I would also say that
You're walking around the conference floor. Oh, go ahead, David. Yeah.
Just in addition to being the best dressed, he also had the most substantive thing to say. So that's my personal biased opinion.
Oh, interesting. And would you care to summarize that for us? Substantive thing to say. So you're saying that the other panelists were kind of full of hot air?
No, okay. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think we've all heard a lot of things about the potential of new ecosystems, whether it be like ETH and tokens during the ICO boom, and now one of the big things is, of course, the Bitcoin layer twos, and I think a lot of the excitement and euphoria is maybe not maybe. I think it's overhyped, and so Corbin was a little more, I think, pragmatic and kind of still enthusiastic, but not. Some of the numbers I heard were pretty
There
interesting.
was a lot.
So
There's being tossed around. Like,
I'm not following you. What do you mean there by the numbers were interesting? Fake?
well, so people were giving off numbers during that little talk that seemed kind of uh, exaggerated, really large. And do you remember last year, Graham, the whole TAM thing, right? Total addressable market. It was like the big uh, buzzword that everyone was using. Like the TAM of this new DeFi thing is 100 trillion, or like this kind of stuff. And even like it got into normal tech, and like S&P companies were talking about the TAM of something, and it just became this kind of like meme for uh, giving justification for things that were overvalued. Don't worry, we don't have any
Yeah.
revenue right now, and that we're burning through our through our run rate way faster than we should. The TAM of our project is every human on Earth. Okay, fine. So it had a little bit of that kind of feel to me, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that clearer?
A little bit. Corbin, what's going on there? You're walking around the floor of the conference, it seems.
yeah, I'm doing a little bit of doing a couple laps. Like, internet doesn't seem great. Yeah, doing a couple laps, checking things out. Overall, people are just kind of getting going. Lots of coffees had here. Some Red Bulls too.
All right. Okay, let's move on to our vibe check for this week, shall we? Obviously, market's not doing too great right now. We dropped below 60K again. We were earlier in the week. We were back up to 63. Now, when currently, as we're speaking, we're like 58 or something. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm still confident that we're heading into the banana zone, as Raoul Paul would say. I guess, my thesis hasn't changed.
Hey, Graham, could you explain what the banana zone is? Could you explain what the banana zone is for those who might not be familiar with it?
Well, first of all, it's the banana zone because it was coined by Raoul Paul, who has an English accent. So let's make that clear from the start. But it's it's the shape of a banana, right? Is where the the meme comes from. So it's when the price of the hello, Jason. Jason's there lurking over behind David. It's where the price, where the price goes in. The price, dips right in the, and then pumps, right? It's that simple. And summer has typically been kind of the doldrum zone, right? And Q2 is historically the worst performing time of the year for crypto. And then as we move into Q3, that's when typically, especially in a halving year, we hit the banana zone, Q3, Q4. So is that clear enough for you?
I guess just going back to the gut check. Are you guys still buying?
So this is what I'm tempted, but see, here's the thing, and I don't know about you guys, but maybe I just need to like go to a crypto conference and like get excited, but I'm just not excited. Like I don't. It just seems all PvP. Like I don't know, these all the crypto projects seem like hot air to me, and maybe I've just become too cynical. I'm stuck here in my office 24/7, never get out. So all I have is just doom scrolling all day, and the crypto Twitter sentiment has gotten to me.
Well, maybe I can give you a little bit of opium injection from the main line right into the jugular. I'm gonna do a cans. There is a lot of stuff happening. There's money going into this ecosystem. These boots aren't cheap. And this is Japan too. So overall, not like a major market, but it's one of the busier continents. Um, based on what I heard too, compared to transition to this conference. I would say there is still garbage projects, like that. But that's always there's always and I think if there is an opportunity here, the bottom, whatever it is, take whatever impure, the ones that are really ready. I think this is also where people get taken. This is like for an investor or a trader, these ground products followed by mentions and see where you get. My take is not selling. It's like I don't trust that this isn't market manipulation trying to get me to shake off my bullish position building what's happening. Maybe this is where the strong survive. But it's max retardation. If I try to overthink it, I think I'm smart. I'm going to sell before it jumps. I know I'm not. So,
Um,
Yeah, I would
Corbin,
echo
yeah, go ahead, David.
just I would say that uh, I felt like you, Graham, before I came to this conference. Honestly, I was waiting for a dip. Some of the people I follow were expecting it to maybe go as far as like 52, and it still could get there. To be quite honest, and I hope it does sooner than later, man. I would like to form a bottom, and I am going to start, I think, buying a little bit from here. I'm at a conference, so I haven't touched the terminal recently, but I was thinking about doing it last night, and I was just too tired. But I would say though that being at this conference for me personally has made me more bullish. It is weird. Maybe that's a problem, or but I like that the energy you do get physically being somewhere, and the fact that everyone has to expend time, money, and energy to get to the conference shows you that there are a lot of other people who are kind of invested in the space and enthusiastic about it. And I interviewed a couple people yesterday, and both of the projects that I interviewed I thought were great, including like the co-founder of Animoca brand. That guy was infectious with his enthusiasm for the market. Graham, I'm getting a little bit of reverb back
Oh,
from you.
yeah, big time.
yeah, I think our producer has her mic on.
Oh, this is fun.
Do you have echo cancellation on?
Echo.
I think we do. No,
Oh, let's keep playing with it because it's so much fun. Hmm. Yep. Definitely getting the echo still.
It's for some reason it's going through our producer's computer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a shit show. It's kind of fun though, actually.
That's everyone's David.
Hello.
All right, we can just deal with it, I guess.
Oh, we have a little.
We get,
Wait, I'll do a.
is the producer's mic off?
The producer's mic is not off.
Should it be?
It should absolutely. And I think only the producer can turn off. You can't do.
Oh.
Well, this guy's got like a cool phone. I think we're good. I think I don't hear any echo.
Oh, yeah. I think we're back. Okay.
Someone fixed it. We did it. I like
Mostly.
this. I like
Okay. Well,
All right, are we good?
let's continue this riveting discussion, shall we? Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So does anyone have anything else they'd like to say on the market vibe check before we move on to our main discussion topic today, which is games?
I would just say that the gut check is just that for me personally is a lot of people that I respect and follow on crypto Twitter said that the likelihood of a price going down right now is high and it's not unexpected, and that it could go as low as like 52, something like that. So just be prepared for it to go down more. Again, we're talking about probability, so it's not certain, but this is crypto. You get dips. You should probably buy those dips, especially in a bull market.
Yep.
guys, I have an urgent interruption. Urgent.
Urgent interruption. All right.
Highly urgent interruption. Breaking news. I'm on the floor and I found the best crypto project.
What do you got?
Oh my God. I gotta get one of these shirts.
What are we looking at?
You guys see it?
Herp.
You don't see it?
Herp.
Yeah.
HERP. Herp. That's short.
Man.
That's short for herpes, everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
So
don't know if they know that.
Venereal diseases on the blockchain.
Get your hurt. Maybe, you know what, guys? I'm changing my bullet from like predictions here. Let's
what was that? A top signal?
if you've got, I don't know what these is. It's just some stuff.
All right. Let's move on to gaming. Let's talk about gaming because David, you interviewed a few people there over the conference about gaming, and I see that you've prepared a little bit of a brief here for us with some stats, starting off with something from Loot Rush. Can I steal your thunder here, or did you want to introduce this?
You can go ahead and do it. Or should
So
I?
according
I
to
should
Loot
go.
Rush, yeah, no, I'll go because yeah, I'm staring at it right here, and honestly, I like the sound of my voice this morning. I'm feeling good about this. So we have 61 million monthly visits in the blockchain gaming sector, according to Loot Rush, and that can be compared to major platforms like Epic Games, where they're getting 63 million monthly visits, and surpassing Coinbase, which gets apparently 23 million monthly visits. So, according to Loot Rush, at least, people are interacting with blockchain based games. Okay. The next point we have here is about investment. Uh, and in Q1 2024, the blockchain gaming sector witnessed 68 investment deals, with 2/3 of the total investment coming from professional venture capitalists and investors, and primarily crypto-only funds. And the shift in focus in the industry has been away from the play-to-earn model, which was sort of tried out in the last cycle and exemplified by Axie Infinity, and moving from that towards a focus on higher quality games that prioritize fun and user experience, with the blockchain technology as an enhancement rather than a defining feature. And then the last point here is that a lot of crypto gaming companies are taking a multi-chain approach, with a significant portion of games, 27%, now adopting multi-chain to expand their addressable audience. Did I get that summary right, David? Is there anything you
Yeah, I
want to
think
add?
so. No, I think it just means that the overall direction is up, basically, I think. Now, again, maybe the numbers are not quite accurate or this kind of thing, but directionally, right? I think it's probably accurate more.
All right. I wanted to talk a little bit about the ton ecosystem, because that seems to have kind of exploded here in the last few months. But before I do that, maybe I'd like to hear a little bit about your interview with the Amioka Brands guy. David, what happened there?
Yeah, I interviewed Yatsu. Maybe probably butchering his name because I'm terrible with this stuff, but co-founder and executive chairman of Animoca Brands was generous with his time and sat down with me to talk about um, his company. And yeah, I had like what, one, two, three, four things that I came away from the interview with that I thought were pretty interesting. Um, First and foremost, like I said earlier, um, his enthusiasm and passion about this sector was infectious, right? Like he just exuded um, confidence and kind of like foreknowledge about where this industry is going and what it will become. Um, Before the interview started, I don't think this will make the interview because we were sitting down and just chatting while Makoto was getting things ready, but he was telling me that something very interesting, which after interviewing totally made sense, which was he spent all of last year, or I think 2022, 2023, basically going around at different conferences and going to different places, trying to reassure people that the sky wasn't falling, right? And that the industry wasn't on fire. And he said that a lot of people were nervous, a lot of investors and builders, developers were worried, and yeah, he and his company put it upon themselves to go around and try to reassure everyone, and you can totally get that from the way he carried himself. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, the second thing is everyone most people in crypto, I think, know Animoca Brands, and they know it from the gaming perspective. But he also said that education is really, really, really high on his priorities. He puts it up there with gaming, and I thought his reasoning behind that was good, and Graham, you and I have done a lot of work on education through Bitcoin.com's Learning Center. So I'm biased on this personally, but I agree that one of the chief challenges for Web3 and crypto is simply like getting people to understand kind of the fundamentals of the space. People are very, very suspicious of, or a lot of people are very suspicious of like electronic tokens and things like that. In the same way that I remember in the 90s, people were suspicious of putting in their credit card information in Amazon, right? And so education is a very, very important thing, and they're putting a lot of focus on it, which I thought was great. When I asked him about things that Animoca has invested in that he's excited about, he didn't want to choose his favorite child, but he said recently one of his big focus points is Ton, right? Like you were just talking about. And he said that Ton and its delivery mechanism, the way it interacts with people, meeting them where they actually are and where they use stuff, is kind of one of the best, maybe the kind of way into getting more people onboarded into Web3 and gaming, which was great. And then the last thing is, Graham, I know you and I have had a couple conversations about like trying to understand crypto gaming, Web3 gaming, and kind of trying to get our heads wrapped around, and like how do you evaluate this? How do you get a hold of projects that you can look at Bitcoin and ETH and some of these things, and you can kind of see where the value proposition is, and you're not going to get tricked, or we're not going to get tricked by like scammy things as easily nowadays. And I was trying to ask him questions along that line, like how it feels to me, and I think for you, that doing the same thing for gaming, crypto gaming, is a lot harder. Like which games are not scams? Which ones have potential? Which ones are the ETHs and Bitcoins? You know what I'm talking about? Um, and so
Maybe like
we
one
spent
thing,
like the last 10 minutes. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing I think that like I've seen here at least, yes, is they're really focused on trying to create quality games. I think the ton style gaming of like what it hamster things, like it's a little bit on the cool. But like I think if you're targeting people on Telegram, you're probably already targeting certain people or seeing more advanced. Like a lot of people aren't into crypto, there's a larger platform that than Telegram and people that can't do crypto. I think it's so stupid. I refuse to touch it on some weird like holier than now. Like I don't know, I heard NFTs are bad. Or like it's just like weird, some weird things against crypto and against NFTs sometimes. I think there is a cut of the Venn he is just creating fun games, and I think the biggest to crypto versus like the what's not a scam. All of those types of questions just feel weird. You know, not to so I just want to play a game. Oh, and it has crypto. I think that's the that's trying to go, or at least a part.
Hey, hey, Corbin, you're cutting in and out for me at least. So let me see if I can try to summarize what you're saying. Can you hear me right now? Yeah, because we could David, you could only half hear him, right? Yeah. So I feel like what he was saying, and to put words in your mouth, Corbin, was that the Telegram ecosystem games the open network, right? They're not really they're targeted towards crypto people, and they're not really good games. They're just basically games actually that are like targeted towards people who are airdrop farming. Is that, did I get that right at all?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think too. I was playing around on it this morning. I tried out the hamster combat, and it's basically you click the hamster, and that's about it. You get some points, and then I clicked it a few times, so I'm assuming that there'll be a life-changing airdrop coming in here for me pretty soon, like hopefully by the end of this podcast. If not, I'm not going to be happy. And but then I started looking into the Notcoin one, and it was basically the same. So what I found out is that it was basically the same thing. You click, then you get an airdrop, and the people who were clicking, who were tapping on it, did get an airdrop, right? And then now they've pivoted to, hold on, what was it? They've pivoted to, I wrote this down. It's an explore to earn model. So basically, it's an advertising platform for other Web3 projects. And yeah, as the marketing guy here on Bitcoin.com and Verse, I thought, oh, actually, maybe we can leverage that to get people to click on a thing and learn about our token. And so that's what Notcoin has pivoted into, apparently. So it's yeah. To your point, it's not it's not exactly a fun game. It's just airdrop farming. So where's the fun games?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've struggled with. Like I've speculated on some crypto gaming projects, and I've lost my face on all of them. And
Illuvium.
you know, it's just it's been hard for me to see, to figure out, you know, what does and what doesn't have real potential, and kind of try to get in early on those fun experiences. Um, but what Yatsui Siu said to me, which made a lot of sense, was that you need to look at the potential network effects of these games, right? In the same way that you kind of look at the network effects of a more traditional crypto project. Um, you need to look at a game. Of course, you have to look at the quality, I think, right? You look at the quality, you look at all that, but what it boils down to is the network effects. And he gave the example of Fortnite, right? And Fortnite, you know, you look at it, the graphics aren't great. The gameplay is fairly derivative, I would say, of like some other, what's called pub, whatever it is, uh, player arena battle games, something like that. But what it does include is this like very kind of social network effect kind of cycle, and you know, it's become a monster. It's a huge thing, and I think I think he just told me this yesterday, so I'm still processing it. But I think that it might be the key for looking at crypto gaming and what projects have real potential. Now you look, so if you were to take this lens of like, what are the potential network effects of some of these like ton games, Graham? I haven't played Hamster Combat yet. I should, but do you see any potential for like this to kind of grow and connect other people and kind of reach some kind of escape network effect velocity kind of thing?
I do not. No, I do not. I see a thing that you click, it's an idle game, right? Just like a cookie clicker.
Isn't there like so? I was on a bus with some people, and I think they were playing this hamster game. And isn't there like there's like factions you can create and stuff, and like groups already? I thought there was some mechanics like that involved.
Okay, yeah, that could be. To be honest, I only spent 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so dude, these people, these younger people, I think they were, Zoomers. They were quite younger than me. And man, they were talking enthusiastically about it for about 40 minutes on a bus after the conference. So, I'm like falling asleep, a doddering old man, and I'm falling asleep next to them, and they're just talking about hamster game thing for 40 minutes. And, they all had their phones out and they're joining some kind of like clan group thing and how to like input different codes to each other and all this kind of like
I
anyway
think there
it
is
seemed like it
some
had network
subset of like
effect potential, but I don't know. I should try it out myself.
there is some
okay,
subset of autism.
that is interesting.
Maybe it's that personalities, but I don't think you're gonna get public answer. You know?
It looked like Corbin was about to say something, but no,
He's
we
smiling
got
now.
nothing from Corbin. Yeah. So, anything else to mention here on the games front?
Yeah, so I
You
mean,
know, yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to bring in a story that I had because not years ago, not that long ago, I was asked to sort of come up with the tokenomics for a game, a crypto based game, and I thought it was I thought that I did a good job of like making up these tokenomics, and the way I thought about it was like you basically set it up so that the incentives are like, yes, with clans, right? And you join your clan and you do a little bit of like mining, like in a video game, right? You do like you kill NPCs and that gives you some points, right? And then you can like band together. And how this game actually worked was there was money on the line, right? So each battle was sort of sponsored by a whale, and they would have the factions like battling it out over the resources that were available. And yeah, it seemed like, oh wow, like this could work, right? But as far as I know, it didn't get off the ground. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that if the incentives are set up correctly, it seems like these games could really take off because there's real money on the line. That's really it can take gaming to the next level.
Yeah,
That's
I
always
think
been the thesis, I feel.
yeah. I there were a couple games, Graham, that came out like that in the last cycle, as far as if I can remember correctly, that did that, I think. And I think the problem with all of them was that that money thing, making, having the betting and this kind of thing, that's almost like an afterthought, I think, for a real game. Like you can attach that to any good game, like FIFA could have that, or like I played Dota 2. You just that could be just like a module you attach to it. But I think that making it a core mechanic of the game itself, I I, I don't think it's that you have to have like a core gaming mechanic that's fun in of itself. I think, even if it were free, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and I think that was the problem, is people thought that if we attach this kind of gaming thing or this money thing to it, it'll be fun. And it turns out that that you have to have a, even like poker and stuff. You have to have like a core gaming mechanic before the money gets involved.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess the last cycle that made me a little disillusioned about gaming because it did seem like even the PvE stuff I thought was a little dystopian, you know?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you're playing to earn a wage.
Yeah, it was sad. It was
Uh,
sad. Um, yeah. All right. So what else we got? You want to move on to show and tell?
um, I would just say one last thing that I've taken from like IVS Kyoto is that there does seem to be a lot of people focused on gaming, and I think it kind of gets it doesn't gaming and stuff doesn't really get any much attention anymore, right? Meme coins have kind of taken over the entire space or the entire amount of oxygen for like crypto excitement, and so games and NFTs uh, have been relegated to this to the shadows or whatever. But yeah, then you go out on the floor of IBS and you see there's like a pretty good amount of gaming projects that are still plugging away. So um, it's good to see that's happening. And you know, I imagine the meme coinery stuff will eventually exhaust itself, and then um, you'll see gaming and NFTs come back in. And by the way, there are some NFT projects here. Like I saw a panel for Azuki, Pudgy Penguins, and Oni Force. I thought that was quite interesting. Whee! And so,
Yeah. Oh, hey. All right. Yeah, I do think that if there's one thing that's going to be like the breakout use case in the next leg of this cycle, like after meme coins exhaust themselves, it's going to be. I mean, I've always had hope that it's going to be games, or the other one that's on my mind is deep in, and I'm
yeah,
just sort of waiting for either of those to come out with something big that's really gonna like excite people. And on
yeah,
the games front, what I've heard, what I keep hearing is that yeah, all this money came into investing in the games 2 years ago, basically at the peak of the last cycle is when the some of the biggest investments were made, and it takes a year or two to actually build the game. And so we're supposed to be getting close now to these tier one games getting released, and they're going to have they're going to be like they're going to be supercharged by blockchain in some way, and that's going to bring in a lot of excitement to the space.
yep. And it's kind of the same old story, Graham. Where I mean, you remember last cycle, I was a little late to the L2 narrative, right? Avalanche and um,
Yeah.
uh, Phantom and some of the other L2s that really had their huge run up. But if you were paying attention, you knew that this was coming and it was going to be hot, right? It was going to be the nuts. And so I was like 4 months late, 5 months late, 6 months late, and the time to buy, again, so cliche, but the time to buy is when it's boring and no one's paying attention and everyone thinks it's dead. And those L2s took a long time to ramp up, right? 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. And if you wanted that the bulk of that gain, right, you had to be buying before everyone was like, oh, L2s are hot. Or
Yeah.
sorry, alt L1s. Alt L1s are hot. Um,
Yeah.
so at least I keep reminding myself that. So I think, yeah, now is the time to be looking at that kind of stuff. I think now,
Right. Now,
not
but
not
that begs the
3 months from now.
question. Yeah. That begs the question: how does like an investor capture value from any of these games? Like, it's very unclear. Does
Well, I mean,
the
that's
does the
been
game have a token? Does the game getting popular, does that accrue value to the token? Uh, is the real value to be made in like the private deals uh, for the like the actual companies behind the token way before, right? Like retail's screwed once again.
Yeah, I mean, the gaming projects that I've invested in have all had tokens. So that's what I've been doing. And the tokens, at least the projects that I've been invested in, they've been beaten up pretty badly. Um,
Yeah.
you raise a great question: does the token accrue value, right? Or is it just simply kind of reflexive because the game is becoming popular?
Yeah,
Um,
that's also fair enough. Like as an
yeah, but I mean,
investor,
look at like Uniswap, right?
narrative investing.
Or
Yeah.
some of these DeFi tokens where the governance tokens where they don't there's no direct accrual of value to the token, like Lido, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
now, conceivably,
All right,
these
Corbin's
projects.
back. What do you got for us? What do you got for us? It looks like
I don't know
you're
if this internet's any
clear
better. I
again.
found some Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah,
We'll
that's
see.
better.
No
Yeah.
promises. No promises. So
Yeah, we can hear you.
yeah, I was trying to jump in. I was trying to jump in a few times, but at some point I gave up. So
All right.
yeah, I think like I remember hearing some Final Fantasy people were going to be building some crypto gaming. I remember hearing like I don't know, there was like some other big name games that were supposedly building stuff. I think like what you guys were saying is like maybe it comes out, maybe you can get in early. I do think though that like what we're seeing at least here at IVS Crypto is that there are some game developer teams that are focused on the fun thing first and like adding the crypto elements kind of secondary. Where I think previous GameFi cycles were like David was saying, largely driven by like create a token, create a thing, create a game that somehow is around it, and then the games just aren't that fun. Nobody uses them. Nobody. They don't build the network effect. They don't. They don't build their own like community beyond speculators who play the game so long as they're making money, and then stop playing the game as soon as it's unprofitable for them. Um, and it's purely like subsidized fun. If you can remove the subsidy and the fun remains and the people remain, maybe you got something. But I think you can only subsidize the fun so long before project fails.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, let's wrap it up here with show and tell. You guys want to share something interesting? I've got something interesting I'd like to share, but I'll let you guys go
Yeah,
first if you want.
go ahead. I think I had one from last week that didn't get shown, but let me see if I can find it while you're showing.
Okay. Let me bring this up on the screen actually. Make sure I share the right screen. Okay, so there's this whole hold on a minute. This whole thing about Polkadot. Oops. Let's zoom in here. So Polkadot, a blockchain, right, spent 37 million US dollars in outreach during the first half of 2024, targeting new users, developers, and businesses. So the breakdown there is $10 million on ads and sponsorships, $4.4 million on influencers, and $4 million on digital ads. And then we've got a little chart here breaking it down. So this piqued my interest as again as a marketer, and I agree with DeFi Ignis here, who says yet Polkadot still seems invisible on X and elsewhere, and the price of the token also is not exactly doing great. And then just to follow up here, this is interesting. So here we have an example of this guy who claims to have been reached out by the Polkadot team. Polkadot is looking for a marketing campaign for the month of August. They'd like to know your price for 10 tweets on X for that month. I'm a key opinion leader, manager, in contact with many projects, VCs, DAO maker. Let me know if you're interested. So this guy's like, this guy's basically saying, virtue signaling here that no, I would never sell my Twitter account. And then just one more thing. Here I want to share, which is this. So then you look at I did a search for dot, right? And then here's Sivo. Like, I'm not saying Sivo got paid by Polkadot for this tweet, but I'm not saying he didn't either. So anyway, I just thought this whole thing is interesting. Like they spent so much money.
What are your takeaways, Graham?
Yeah. So I guess my takeaway is that you gotta have a few things. Okay, so the influencer marketing thing, that's probably actually, of the 37 million that they spent, I think they should have spent more than 4.4 million on influencers. They should have spent most of it on influencers, actually. That's what I think. Because this 10 million or so on ads and sponsorships, I don't know, how are you going to reach your target audience there as a Polkadot, right? Are you like, I heard they sponsored a race car. Like, are the people who are
totally
watching
not
F1 or whatever,
boomers
are they investing in Polkadot, right? So I thought that was a waste. So that's the one takeaway. Yeah, and so as a marketer, I'm like, yeah, you guys should have spent more on influencers, but then also just as like a person in the space who is like scrolling through Twitter all the time, I'm just like, I can't trust anything because it's all key opinion leaders getting paid to shill. Those are my two takeaways.
I think
this is another.
This is marketing spends and budget players. They looked at like usability of their products. The developer used to build on Polkadot and suddenly it's a waste, total waste. Nobody likes building on Polkadot. Build on Polkadot. Nobody likes using Polkadot. It's a pain in the ass to use Polkadot. The whole ecosystem is built on like a terrible user experience driven by like largely naive developers. Don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I think I heard something recently about Polkadot and
say that
what's it called?
Hold a lot of Polkadot.
Atom as well. That they also mismarketed their stuff. You know, that part of the problem was, one of the hot things nowadays is this like multi-chain, cross-chain stuff. And Polkadot and Atom were really Cosmos. Sorry, they really were kind of ahead of their times. But now they're not getting any of the juice that they should be now. And so it was like a very missed opportunity.
Yeah. Again, Corbin was a little unclear, but did you say, Corbin, that basically the problem was that they just don't have good product market fit? So what are you doing, wasting your money on advertising? It's not going to work. Was that the gist of it?
It's less about product marketing.
Uh-oh. Muted. The user or can't hear you. Son of a.
Yeah.
All right, I'm reading his mouth right now.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Oh, okay.
Like,
we should all get raises." Okay, cool. That sounds good.
Did you I heard that like a lot of some of these newer projects are built on Atmos, not Atmos, Cosmos, but no one knows that they're Cosmos whatever chain things. And I imagine Polkadot is a similar thing. There's like probably projects that we are aware of that are built in the Polkadot ecosystem thing, but we just don't know it's Polkadot, right? Like Celestia. Did you know that
It's
was
not.
a Cosmos thing?
It's not, yeah, not really. I think you're back, Corbin. Try to speak again.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yep, you're working.
Polkadot's okay. Well, Polkadot's ecosystem. Their problem isn't what they spend on trying to become relevant. It's the fact that their developer suite, their product suite, is terrible. For the users, for developers, you try to build on Polkadot subnet system. It's just like everything is just slow, clunky, half baked functions. Like Polkadot had great businesses, and I think they just, just like there's a lot of insiders stuff going on, with, like the grants and stuff like that. So you have a lot of these like grants that have their own like little inner ecosystems. They don't bring in any people from the EV. I don't think it is really like Cosmos where you have things that are built on substrates and Polkadot's. Polkadot just is this, it's kind of its own weird little DeFi ecosystem that kind of functions and it works. But the user experience is mostly terrible. The wallet experience is pretty terrible. And I think people just like to laugh. So
Yep. And so marketing ain't gonna save it.
I mean, I think that's not the thing that you need to have. For every project has to spend something to become somewhat relevant in the crypto space. Maybe they went about it pretty weird, but the problems to point at are just that everything in Polkadot's kind of ass to use. I used to hold Polkadot, used to play around with a bunch of stuff on it, had high hopes for it. After about a year of just dabbling with it, I was like, this isn't getting any better. Meanwhile, EVM and everything else was just like, getting smooth, getting easy. And even stuff that you're seeing on like some of these other high throughput chains, whether that's like Solana, Sui, one of these other things. They're trying to make
Yeah.
the user experience fast and simple. And Polkadot is doing the opposite because it's built by nerds and they feel like it's good enough. It's like that. It's like the classic like engineered product where if you say, "Hey, this is kind of crap," they're like, "Works exactly the way it's supposed to work." Okay, but like that's stupid, and they're like, "You're just not educated enough," Like they got a weird vibe there.
Yep. And gotta say, not a big fan of the name either.
Yeah.
Like, why not call it Paisley or Stripe? Oh no, that one's already taken. Okay, what else we got? Any other show and tell?
Yeah, Graham, could you do mine? The Will Bitcoin Pump
Can't do any
thing
show and
at the
tell.
bottom.
Internet's too unreliable to
Yeah.
show anything that'll cut out before I get anything cool. But yeah,
Share.
All right. So I did a show and
Stream.
tell from this guy earlier, the Mad King. Again, this guy has a lot of credentials from TradFi, Macro. So I feel like he's legit. And I know Corbin is suspicious of the tea leaf reading, but it's always nice to kind of look at these and see if you can read the tea leaves. Again, this is Will Bitcoin Pump, and the tweet says, "What Bitcoin really needs to rally post-halving is a dollar weakening, and right now there is none of that. Every parabolic movement in Bitcoin has historically coincided with periods of dollar weakening." Again, this is kind of like common sense. Everyone knows this, not just in crypto, but in traditional markets as well, right? When the dollar is strong, what's it called? Risk assets suffer, right? Like the S&P, and crypto is no different. And right now the dollar is pretty strong. I haven't checked recently, but we are in a period of dollar strengthening. Now, it might be the case, I think, that we could be up for some dollar weakening, which would at least set the stage for a rally, face ripping rally. Anyway, it's food for thought.
What are these pink lines? What is this here? Minus 8.45%. What is that? Do you know what that is?
I think that's how isn't that how much the dollar went down? Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
yeah.
So this is a
I think that
okay.
right. So it's the dollar spot index in black, and then it's the XBT, right? Bitcoin USD cross in the light blue, and it's showing for two periods that are roughly the same. The fall in dollar by percentage, and then the kind of commiserate rise in Bitcoin's price, right? For the
Okay,
same,
so
basically for the same time period. So you can see
if
you can see quite
from in the latest rally of Bitcoin, that did coincide with dollar weakening. It seems, right?
yeah, and after every, if you look, it's every post halving, right? Right after there's a post
Uh-huh.
halving, you see there's this weakness in the dollar, and when that kind of levels out, um, you see Bitcoin kind of rally hard, right?
All
When
right.
the dollar weakens,
I got it.
um, and the, anyway, so we're at a weird point though, because right, like again, it just goes look at macro and kind of what the Fed's going to do, and everyone's trying to see what the Fed's going to do, and that could determine a lot of how the dollar does. How the dollar does definitely will have, not definitely, I should say, most likely will have an impact on crypto. Anyway, I'm still optimistic.
Yep.
Third quarter, fourth quarter rally, right? Like the the Dims are in control of the purse strings going into November. I'm sure they're going to want to make sure the markets are nice and high, right? They have to, right? So they could open the floodgates, and if they do that, that should weaken the dollar, right? That should weaken the dollar, and then boom.
Hmm. All right. Corbin, you got anything you'd like to share before we wrap things up here?
Nothing, nothing ultra insightful. I mean, David knows I'm kind of I like looking at charts. I like the hopium that they bring, but I kind of just go with the long-term investor thesis. Does this thing provide value to me? That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, whatever it is, whatever floats your boat. Does this thing provide a future utility or something that means something to me? Do I think that there's going to be, more people using this thing, interacting with this ecosystem? Will that ecosystem be growing? Um, I think when you zoom out, like the chart reads, the short term, 10% drops here, 5% drops there, 20% up there, it starts kind of like looking pretty small. And I think the best way to really put everything always into perspective is to go to like markets.bitcoin.com or any other like CoinGecko. Go look at Bitcoin price. Everything kind of trades against it, whether we like it or not. Like everything's pretty much baked into price in BTC. And then you just zoom out.
Son
You
of
zoom
a.
into 2010. You start scrolling into 2012. You start scrolling into 2015. And you get to 2020. And you get to 2022. And you get to 2024. And it's like, okay, everything kind of goes back to just like the fundamentals. Is this thing going to grow? That's my That's my gut check. It's just
All right.
only gonna
So Corbin is a
it might not
fundamental
it might
investor.
decline
David's a tea leaf
for 2
reader.
or 4 days,
What
a
about
year,
you?
4 years. But then you zoom out a little more, and it's like
I'm just
governments do stupid stuff. The Fed loves
LARPing
to print.
out here, man. All right. Let's wrap it up, yeah, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the conference. Get out there. Excited to see more. Excited to see those interviews, David. Excited to see what else you guys got from the conference, other anecdotes and tidbits. And thanks to everyone for listening. Don't forget that Token Narratives is sponsored by Bitcoin.com's very own V card, the purest crypto debit card in the multiverse. What's going on there? Yeah. All right. I'm going to play us out here. Thank you again, everyone. Bye-bye.
Outro.